An image, a sound, or a feeling is a resource. Our brain endows us with the ability to see inner pictures, whether they begin fuzzy or clear. These pictures can be built up into great motivating visions. Everyone has the ability to hear inner sounds also. For example, we can hear our own voice and the voices of people we've known. An inner voice can keep us confident and on track. It can become an eloquent speaker and motivator to us. If you have ever had a resource in your life, even if it was only for a second, you have it forever. You can spread it throughout your future using the Circle of Excellence technique. Anything anyone can do, you can learn to do. In my experience, people can't help but want and dream and desire. It comes natural to us. It's part of who we are. And it has taken our species from living in caves and huts to beginning to explore the stars. We dream and we want our dreams to be fulfilled. We want to unlock ways to realize our dreams. NLP is the key. Lawrence of Arabia wrote in his memoirs, "All men dream, but not all equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their minds wake in the day to find it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dreams with open eyes to make it possible." Dangerous? When Steve Jobs co-founded Apple Computer, his goal was to change how people worked, thought, and lived. He's succeeded. No less than Henry Ford, who changed people's sense of freedom and independence and created whole new industries. When you want to bring the simplest dream to realization, you are challenging the status quo. You're upsetting the apple cart, that state of mind that says things are quite well enough the way they are, thank you. When you bring something new into the world, you disrupt routines and you shake expectations. You ask yourself and others to be different. So let me make a suggestion. Invite loved ones, family, and co-workers along. If they get to take this journey with you, they are less likely to want it to stop. When everyone has more choices in their lives, they accept more choices and flexibility in others. NLP is the new technology of achievement. It works when you use it, and it will change your life. Why do some people have such a tough time motivating themselves? You'd think that success, achievement, the fulfillment of our greatest dreams would be so attractive, so irresistibly wonderful that we'd have no trouble getting motivated. Yet for many people, it's a major problem. High achievers say it takes motivation to get the gold. Yet what is motivation? With NLP, you'll discover that motivation isn't some secret formula sold only to star athletes and motivational speakers. Instead, it's a mental strategy you can learn to use for yourself, something you can have whenever you need it. And what are the times we all need to be motivated? When we don't really feel like doing something, but we want the results. We want what we'll get when it's finished. That's when we need a motivation strategy, and that's what NLP can give us. Let me give you two different examples of motivated people. A few years back, a young entrepreneur is working late at night. Since his computer software company is small, he's doing most of the work himself. He pauses a moment to rest his eyes and give himself a well-deserved break. He's young, so distractions come easily. He sees parties, his girlfriend, the latest movie. They all flash through his mind. But this man continues to work. That's because more compelling, more vivid in his mind's eye, he sees a large, rich picture of the results he wants to achieve. It's almost like a movie. He sees one scene connected to the next, each a milestone leading from the present moment towards the fulfillment of his goal. And around this goal, he sees vivid connecting images. He sees the positive effects of his efforts and the other things he will gain with his success. He's able to ignore the distractions because they are small, pale, faded compared to his goal. He sees his goal in rich, compelling detail. He thinks about how good it will be when it is finished and wants to move toward it. When Tim Patterson completes his dream, it will be one of the most important computer programs ever, the operating system for the IBM PC, MS-DOS. Tim Patterson has made a difference. And now another story. This young man was the biggest kid in every class every year. He felt the need to be bigger than life, but was not inclined to sports or academics. He couldn't find his niche. What was worse, he came from a broken home, without a father. After high school, he wanted to get away from the way things were and sought success in the positive mental attitude movement. He built a motivational seminar fortune, only to have it crash down around him. Finding himself in a 400-square-foot Venice, California apartment, he felt more desperate to get away from those circumstances than ever. Tony Robbins went on to become one of the best-known motivational speakers in America, seen on TV by millions. And that's because he never lost his motivation. What is motivation? The answer can be found in just getting up every morning. When the alarm goes off, some people mumble to themselves, "Oh no, let me sleep just a little more," and hit the snooze button. And then the alarm goes off again, and an inner voice says, "It's time to get up." And your brain might show you pictures of rushing to get dressed and missing breakfast, but you think, "No big deal, I can wear what I wore yesterday. I don't need breakfast." And so you hit the snooze button again. And then a few minutes later, the alarm goes off again, and the voice says, "You've got to get up or you're going to have real problems." And this time your brain starts showing you pictures of getting to work late and having to explain it to your boss, but you think, "I can drive a little faster to work," and so back to sleep you go. But that alarm goes off again, and now the voice says, "It's time to get up. You must get up." And now your brain starts showing you a picture of your clients impatiently waiting for you, and your boss is yelling and screaming, threatening to fire you. And when this picture in your mind's eye has become big enough and bright enough and close enough and loud enough, then you say, "Okay, I'll get up." You're finally motivated. And then there's another type of motivation. Do you ever wake up in the morning thinking about the great things you're going to get to do that day? Things that will take you toward enjoyment and feelings of accomplishment, competence, and confidence? Do you see pictures of yourself doing things and moving toward the rewards for them? Do you see how this day will connect with the next, and how all of this is building to a crescendo, leading toward the things you really want in life? Here you're also motivated. Motivation works in two different ways. One of the key elements of motivation is what NLP calls the direction of motivation. This direction can either be toward what we want or away from what we don't want. This is a mental program that affects much of our lives. We may be in different situations making different decisions, and we use the same mental program. For this reason, NLP calls it a meta program, a mental program we use above most of our other brain programs. For example, take the guy who wouldn't get up until he saw things like his boss yelling at him and threatening to fire him. His motivation direction is to get away from pain, discomfort, and negative consequences. He probably uses the same program to decide when to take a break, when he's uncomfortable. When he picks his friends, he probably picks people that don't bother him. He probably won't make a career move until he can't stand it anymore. He moves away from what he doesn't want. The alternative is to move toward pleasure, rewards, goals. This person also uses the same program to decide when to take a break, as a reward after completing something. When he picks his friends, he probably picks people that stimulate him. He makes a career move to go on to bigger opportunities. He moves toward what he wants. People can have both, away from and toward motivation direction, but most people specialize in one or the other. They are very different ways to get motivated, and both are useful in different situations. Consider the away from direction. Some people might say, "That isn't a good way to live. Why do you have to be afraid of something or want to avoid it in order to be motivated?" When you exercise, you end up sweaty, so you take a shower. When the room temperature is uncomfortable, you do something to change it. That's a good use of the away from motivation direction. And what if you're a successful business person, and one of the things that got you there is the memory of the poverty you grew up in? You constantly remember those hard times.